We know then it will be the Netherlands against Argentina on Friday. What a cracking tie this should be. Just a reminder, ESPN FC on ESPN Plus is presented by the all-new Honda CR-V Hybrid. Let's take a look at how the bookies have this game set. You imagine Argentina a favourite 4-7 on. The Dutch 11-8. Nathan and Jules still with us, as is Mario. Mario, we can talk about the Dutch finally. 50 minutes into the show, we can finally talk about the Dutch and how you feel about them going into this tie.
Oh, going into this tie, look, man, it's all about Messi. I feel like, this nation focused so much on Messi that it's incredible. Even if you don't want to, you have to, regardless of that. But we also like his style of playing.
Even Mario doesn't want to talk about Holland. He's on Argentina and Messi.
No, I'm talking about Messi, because now I'm going to tell you what Holland is thinking now. Because Holland talks about him. Why? Because they highlighted it in the sense of how they're going to stop a guy like that. Because if you're going to play a player against him, then you're playing with one man less, because something can happen. I did it myself when I was started as a young boy. And then I had to, it worked out well, but that was 10 years ago. Or, 15 years ago. So now going forward, I feel like Holland has got to focus on totally different things, because the way they played against the United States, and we don't want to go, there are a couple of things that I wanted to highlight about that, is that he knew exactly what he was doing. Dest, your best player on the ball. He is clearly, you try to get him on the ball. Where was Memphis Depay playing? He was playing in the left-hand zone so that Dest would not get on the ball. So you were switching it to Robinson. Why do you want Robinson on the ball? Because he uses a lot of energy to go forward, and he gets exposed. That's what they were waiting for, the counter-attack. Then the other side you had, the two in the middle of the park was the Zimmerman, and I cannot pick up his name so quickly. But so going back to that, it's like you guys were waiting too long to see what you were going to do. And Holland allowed you to do that. And Van Gaal said it after the game. He said, we were just waiting for them so we could hit them on the break, because they had to give us the answer to what we were waiting for. And we had a lot of opportunities to get the ball, but we didn't maximize the opportunity so well. So that was the only downfall to the game. But away from that, we want to play better. We hear that repeatedly from people complaining how the Holland is playing, because Holland does not play like the classic way how we normally play. But it doesn't matter. We don't play the classic way. But Van Gaal clearly goes for the results. And at this point, that is very new for Holland, but definitely new for America when they face them.
Dan, you're saying, Mario, that Van Gaal thought about everything. Had Pulisic would have scored the goal, do you think he had a plan B? Do you think the Dutch would have been able to attack and lead the game?
Yeah, they had to. That's a very good question, because I thought about the same thing. You are right, because the game would have been different if he would have scored, because Holland had to come out now. And the problem would have been is that what they were going to do. The only thing is, look, Holland really clearly is depending on the pie. That's why he gave him the golden ticket that he would not give another player. He said, we're going to wait till you get fit. Okay, De Jong had a little bit, but he knew De Jong he was going to get. So the pie he gave it to. So if he scored, they had to spread up the game a little bit more and be more forward in the sense of the way they were today. Because first half they were like that. But the second half, you saw yourself, Frank. It was a different game the second half than compared to the first half. What he did, he wanted them to run down the energy, because he knew that America could not bring the same energy of the first half to the second half. And when that happened, now he started playing. And that was the answer to what would have happened if they would have scored the goal. Then America would be in the upper hand. But we also don't know what they would have been doing, because Berhalter played so long. He was in Holland for so long. Tactically, I'm going to be honest, we are a small nation. What do we have? We have technique we can work really hard on, and tactique we can work on. The rest of the things, we normally get overrun, because the passion of what America has is on a different scale. So we have to be smarter.
Looking ahead to Friday, Jules, it's big boy time.
Yeah, it's big boy time. I think this is a fascinating encounter on paper to start with, tactically, between Scaloni, who's still a young manager compared to Van Gaal. You know, this is again, we had that a bit with Berhalter today. It won't be the same scale, but not too far. And I also think that the Dutch would be it's a very pragmatic team, this team. Very different to what we've seen before, maybe in previous generations. This is very like the 2014 one that Van Gaal already and to the semi-final. This is a team that is very happy to let you the ball. You can have the ball because Klaassen plays so well out of possession, and then when they recover the ball, he's so good to find those little space between the lines, and then Memphis is so good and Gabko is so quick that plus the two wing-backs, and we saw, I mean, if Johan Cruyff was watching from up there, the two of the three goals are from one wing back to the other wing back, and then the right wing back to the left wing back. This is exactly what Van Gaal dreams of at night, every single night. And right now, I have to be honest, I'm not sure how much of answers this Argentina side has against this Dutch team. That's why for me it's a very 50-50 game. And yeah, it might be decided by a Messi moment of magic. But there was something just quickly. Emi Martinez said after the game today, Messi is 99.9% of our team. This is him. The rest, the 0.1%, is the rest of the players. Okay, this is great. No one has never won the World Cup on his own. Not even Maradona in '86. So let's see how they do against a Dutch team. Nedum said it. Van Dijk looking really, really sharp, looking really, really good. And so is Ake, and so is Timber. The wing-backs are very good. And this is a team that tactically and collectively knows exactly what they're doing. And I think it's going to be really tough for Argentina.
Nedum, do you agree with Jules? 50-50?
Yeah, I think I do. And in some ways, I think people will be writing off the Netherlands because Messi just had that game there and they're going to have the crowd there. And it'll be interesting to see Netherlands as an underdog because for the way that they play, it's going to be one of those matches where maybe they'll just sit back in and try and hit them on the break again. Maybe Argentina are going to overcommit, except the difference this time is when you look at someone like Gakpo or Depay or maybe a Bergwijn if he comes on, those guys running against the Argentinian centre-backs is probably going to be favourable more to the Netherlands than, say, we saw from the Australians today. So I think it's going to be a very, very interesting tie. And the Netherlands have all of a sudden hit this spot now where I didn't really like them that much through the group, but they kind of showed me something today which made me think I wouldn't be surprised if they made it to the final. And that's a really weird spot to be in because it was literally 2 days earlier. I was like, no, there's nothing. I was drinking the USA Kool-Aid, literally. I was like, it's all done. It's all said and done. USA is going, it's crossing the Atlantic. Yeah, literally, it says corrupt in my brain. Literally, my brain is fried. But in the end, they just look so comfortable. And I guess that's going to be a big thing for them when they go and play against Argentina because they won't fear them. And one thing I saw today from being in the stadium, they're exceptionally well organised. And I think for Argentina, it's going to be tough to break them down.
Just to wrap this up, I'm not sure if you've seen this, Mario. The reception that the team got when they arrived back in the hotel, which is great, which is lovely. The best bit about it by a million miles is Van Gaal dancing like an uncle at a wedding with his camera showing everyone as well. There he goes. Hey! I love it.
Oh boy! Oh boy! He let go.
Yeah,
he let go.
So yeah, no, I think that's fair enough.
The atmosphere is going to be crazy.
It's going to be awesome.
With the Dutch fan and the Argentinian fans, that's going to be a game to watch. Really.
Mario, just quickly, because we heard Marco van Basten very critical of the Dutch today and their style. Is that collective amongst the nation, or are they, like you, appreciative of what Van Gaal is doing, just getting them through?
No, look, I always said that the way Holland is playing now is not like the tradition, how I've been brought up as a player too. Everybody knows that. The whole nation knows that. Everybody knows it. But the key thing is now, Van Gaal, he's saying it, but let me tell you the truth. He's now his focus is more on, let me get the results, because we have always been playing nicely. But let's just get the business done, and then we will figure it out later on.
Well, thank you very much for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more sports highlights and analysis, be sure to download the ESPN app. And for live streaming, premium content, and let's not forget as well, ESPN FC 7 days a week. Subscribe to ESPN+.